We are so excited. We have a few programs coming up in 2026 that we're going to go over. And first, we'll introduce ourselves. So, I work at PYC as the Director of Growth. So lucky. I've been working with PYC since 2019. And my job is literally to support this yoga teacher training, to support the participants from beginning to end and then beyond. It's really this relationship that is built, and we're always here every step of the way, ensuring that you have a fantastic time with us, and that you're able to use the tools in this program even outside of it. So, yeah,
Great. Thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. My name's Joe. I am the PYC Growth and Experience Coordinator. A lot of just supporting Nick and Kinley and Pauline with ways to grow the program, which is really exciting. And in my experience with PYC, I've done the 300-hour yoga teacher training. I've supported and facilitated in parts of the 200-hour teacher training, and I've been lucky and fortunate to be able to support the programs in also winter Nicaragua and summertime in Sugar Ridge. So just really happy to be here and be able to talk about that experience and bring some of that to life for you all. And if you have any questions, excited to be here.
amazing. So we're going to jump into a slide deck. And if you have any questions, feel free to just stop us and ask them. Very informal info session where we'll dive into the programs. We'll share about everything you need to know. But of course, there can be a lot of questions at times, so feel free to stop us. All right. So seek the truth is the theme of the program. It really is this training that helps you seek the truth within, and it helps you pull back the layers so that you can come through as your true authentic self. We really hone in on that in this teacher training. And yes, you will learn how to become an amazing yoga teacher, and more importantly, you'll able to really just be yourself and to show up in life, not just as a yoga teacher if that's your intention of this training, but just show up at work, with family, relationships, in all areas of your life. You'll be able to show up with a new lens. And so, as we dive into the contents, we're going to touch on the core values at PYC, because these core values of speaking straight, listening generously, honoring commitments, being for each other, acknowledgments and appreciation, diversity and belonging, these really come through in the training. And in turn, we also help you kind of figure out your own core values, your North Star, to help support you on and off the mat. And we empower you into action. Our mission statement at PYC is literally to empower communities into action. There's the word yoga isn't even in our mission statement. And it's because so much happens off the mat. We help you transform, we help you really learn about yourself on the mat, but we help you shine and be a light to everyone around you on and off the mat. So a lot of people, when they ask questions, a lot of them are around, okay, do I need to be this advanced yogi? I can't do a headstand. I can't do advanced poses. There's no way I'm ready. I haven't been doing yoga for more than 10 years. There's no way I can join this training. And I'm always so excited when people share that, because you don't have to be an advanced yogi. You don't need to know anything about the poses. You don't need to be a certain age, shape, or experience level. What is important is being a yes. Throughout the trainings, we we provide you with activities. There's stuff that we do that, that helps you grow. And so being a yes, letting go of doubts, giving up what you must, and having the mindset of being ready now. I feel like we know what we need to do, and sometimes we're like, okay, I'll do that later. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll learn how to teach yoga next year. I'll learn more about my yoga practice tomorrow. I'm just gonna do what I do right now and I'll be fine. What it comes down to is we help you with the mindset of just being ready now, being ready in this moment to take on your life in a new light. And what will you leave with? An improved yoga practice. As you can imagine, we practice yoga basically every time we're together. You are going to have the ability and the knowledge and the experience to teach a 60-minute power yoga class as we guide you through how to teach it step by step. We meditate a lot. You lead meditations as well during the program to other participants, and we help you discover your true authentic voice. That truly comes through during the practice teaching, during you standing in front of 3, 5, 25 people and leading them through a yoga class. And those moments in the program that I get to witness are just like those are some of my favorite. When somebody's like about to teach the 25 people, they're sweating, they're like, I can't do this. And then everybody in the room is clapping and they're like, you got this, you got this. And they complete it, and the joy on their face is amazing. And there's so much more. There's no way we can really share absolutely everything that you're going to gain from this program just in this information session. There's really just so many things that come through, and it's truly beautiful. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have 3 teacher trainings for the 200-hour program coming up next year in 2026. We have the winter program, the spring program, and the summer program. And looking at these programs, so winter right here, spring, summer, they're various styles. And the reason we do this is to provide different learning styles for everyone to do a program that fits best for them. So, starting off in the winter in January, we have a weekends and Wednesday evening style program with timing on Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday evenings. So this could be good for somebody who works full time, somebody who might not be able to get away for an extended period like we do for the spring and summer. And this is also great for people who like to learn over a longer period of time. They want to be able to digest the information. They want to be able to learn, okay, take a step back, right? We come in for the first weekend on January 17th and 18th, and then they take a step back. Okay, what did I learn over those past 2 days? Reflect on it, and then continue moving forward in the training. And as you can see, the Wednesday evenings, we do meet every single Wednesday for 3 hours from 6 to 9, except for one March Wednesday for March break. Next up, with spring and summer, these 2 versions of the 200-hour training are very similar in the sense that they're intensive 10-day trainings. And before we go away to Nicaragua and before we go to the Sugar Ridge Retreat Center, there is some pre-training that supports your learning in this program. So we have a live Zoom session where we jump on for 3 hours, and it's not listed on here, but it's the Wednesday before we leave. And so that information is on the website as well. And so on top of that live Zoom session, we also provide you with pre-recorded video modules that you get to complete at your own pace. And we do ask you to complete those before we start the program and when we go away on the intensive 10-day trip. And so as you can see the dates here, we're going to Nicaragua for the 3rd time now, the same resort that we absolutely love, from Wednesday, April 15th to Friday, April 24th. And then Sugar Ridge, we're going July 15th to July 24th. Any questions so far with the 3 programs? Lucy, I'd love to hear. Is there one that you are like more looking at, more interested in than the other by any chance?
For me, I think I would like to the winter with several like different. They have more time. I think this is each month 2 weekends, right? So it's
Exactly.
like yeah.
Yep,
So not every weekend, but every other weekend. It looks like
exactly. Except for there's a couple times, I think it's just this weekend right here. See, March 7th and 8th. Then there's a long break 2 weeks where we're out of program because of March break.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to honor the holidays,
Yeah, and then Wednesday evening, which is every week, basically, right?
which
So
is, yeah, exactly, which is really great because it helps you keep connected in the program every week, showing up from that 6 to 9 p.m. So yeah, winter's a great style. Any other thoughts around that?
may I know what exactly in the course, these 200 hours, what is the main things you will teach us, like how to, like the content. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my English is not good, which is also a bad thing here.
Your English is amazing, Lucy. Amazing. No, no, and that's a amazing question. We actually touch on that in the next slide. So we'll go through that in just a second.
Okay, and another
Yeah.
question is power yoga. It's one kind of yoga type, right? So I heard about the hatha yoga, ashtanga yoga, and then what's the difference is the power yogas, may content with it. What's the difference with the other yoga type? I really interesting to know.
Yeah, really great question. So the type of yoga that we teach you is called vinyasa. And so vinyasa is movements and breath, breathing in and out with the movement, really. And then the power aspect um, is like it's intertwined within the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas hatha yoga, it's a little bit slower paced. There's a focus on holding individual poses for longer.
Oh, longer.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
how long? How long? It's very long. It had a yoga. I
With
didn't.
that, I wouldn't, I can't really speak to like the exact length, but
Okay.
probably like 30 seconds to a minute max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the post is similar, right? Actually, the
They're,
post.
yeah, they're similar. Exactly. They all kind of intertwine. And then same with like Ashtanga is it follows more strict, a set sequence of postures that are it's more strict.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Vinyasa, the style that we teach you, there is a set sequence that we provide so that it's
Mm-hmm.
like the baseline, it's the foundation, but
Right.
there's still some creativity that can come through, which is why people love the vinyasa flow. It's
Mm-hmm.
really this beautiful flow that can adapt and change based on who the practitioner is, right? So even as the teacher, you're going to be leading this beautiful practice, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to teach and support your students by also providing adaptations at times or
Yeah.
supporting with different poses. Yeah. Yeah, really great questions, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to know, Christine, which have you thought of winter, spring, or summer? Is there one that you're leaning more towards?
Yeah, Nick, sorry, I'm not on camera because I'm nursing a really bad cold, and I also look really bad because of that cold. Um, yeah, I think I would have loved the spring one
Hmm.
to go away, but I'm going to be away somewhere else, so I'm leaning towards the summer program. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you is, once the 200 hours is completed, is it recognized by Yoga Alliance as well?
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
it is. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. PYC has been a member of Yoga Alliance for like over a decade, probably since 2009 when we first started offering teacher trainings. And, you know, a lot of people think they need to have Yoga Alliance,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't necessarily need to. And even with PYC, to teach at a PYC, you don't need to be Yoga Alliance certified. The
Mm-hmm.
benefits, there are different benefits about Yoga Alliance. So if you sign up with them, you pay a fee. It's a yearly fee around $120, and they give you your own web page. So if you want to really share about your teaching to the world, you can use that web page to
Mm,
promote yourself. There are some studios and organizations that say, okay, you need to have Yoga Alliance,
right.
such as, and I found this really interesting. There's organizations that help you go and stay at resorts, sunny resorts in Dominican, Mexico. And so you pay a lot less and then you stay there and you teach yoga once a day. And I find a lot of companies like that where you're going abroad, you're going around the world. That's where Yoga Alliance is needed as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But
You,
yeah, go ahead, Lucy.
yeah, I just for those license what is that called? What license names?
It's
Yoga
so
Alliance, right? So
Yeah, it's
yes,
it's called Yoga Alliance. And
yes.
so Yoga Alliance it's basically just a registrar. And
Okay.
it's they are, they're in the business of promoting yoga and supporting studios and teachers and students to find opportunities. And so it's a registrar, it's a company that supports with all those stuff.
And they are required to maintaining like every year, right? So you have to pay the alliance, a fee for that. And then do they require any more trainings for that as well?
Not necessarily. And you don't technically need Yoga Alliance. It really all depends on, like, let's say, Lucy, you want to teach at a PYC, then you won't need Yoga Alliance.
Mm.
If you want to teach at a studio and they're like, "Okay, Lucy, you need to be Yoga Alliance certified," then you would then have to pay a fee, and there's no extra trainings. So once you complete our PYC training, and you complete the post work, then you submit that to Yoga Alliance, and they're like, perfect. You're now Yoga Alliance certified because we recognize PYC as this organization that provides a training that is aligned with what they share, right? They say, okay, if you want to be Yoga Alliance certified as an organization, your trainings need to focus on specific aspects. And we actually have a slide deck on that we'll go over as well. So yeah, amazing questions. Let's jump into the next slide, which touches on it's an overview of the content. So the content that is delivered in this training falls into these specific categories. So physical is one of the practices. So yoga. We do yoga, we teach yoga, we learn about the yoga sequence, we learn various styles and methodology around teaching yoga. Then meditation is also a very big part of this training, and then inquiry. So journaling, conversation with other people in the program, with the facilitators. And so the content falls within these three categories. And as we continue to go through these slides, there's a little bit more information on what we actually do in the training as well. Okay. Next up, let's just touch on the days. So during the programs itself, the format is a little bit different, but we're going over, or the structure is very similar. It just might be at different times based on um, the type of program, right? So we have winter, and so this is a typical weekend. We start the mornings off with discussion. We then take a break, and then after that break, we then head to the PYC Oakville studio in order to learn from 1:30 all the way to 8 p.m. I just want to say hi to Francis. Is that am I saying it right,
Ye-
Francis?
Yes, Francis.
Nice to see you. Welcome. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. We're just jumping into the slide deck, and
Okay.
so myself and Joe are here leading this, and then we also have Lucy and Christine on learning about the trainings as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I can, and even later, Francis, we can just touch on the slides that we missed if you want to
Okay.
stay on for a little bit after. But right now we're going through what a typical day in teacher training looks like. So our winter program, this is a hybrid style. And so on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, we all start online and discussion is happening. We're talking about yogic concepts. We talk about um, just life in general. It really is an ontological theme in the morning where it's like, okay, who am I? What am I up to in this world? And helping remove layers as well. I always bring that up in this training because as a yoga teacher, when you're facing your students, what's so important is to go up to the front of the room and just be your true authentic self with no expectations, with no hidden agendas, nothing in the way between you and your students so that you can just lead this beautiful practice that's been around for thousands and thousands of years. And so you see here in a typical day, obviously we do yoga, we meditate, and then we lab. And so Joe right here is the master labber. And Joe, maybe if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, sure. So we would take parts of this afternoon and we would take a look at different yoga poses and we would break it down to alignment and general cues to teach a group of people to get into the pose. And then we also do partner and group work so that you can take a look at each other's poses and learn from each other's bodies also, which is really fun.
Mhm. Amazing. And practice teaching, we what's so important about our training and what we find is truly important is experiential learning. You actually doing versus being lectured and you and us telling you and just using words. It's a lot of embodied learning. And so that's through the practice teaching. And then workshops can be various cool activities that we do. There might be a breathwork workshop. We might have like a special chakra flow, a special deep flow, or crystal bowl yoga session that we bring forth to really enhance the program as well. So that's a typical day in the winter. In the spring and the summer, um, they're very similar schedules where we're waking up early, we're meditating. And I guess what's different between Nicaragua in spring 2026 than any other program is we do this beautiful walk on the beach where we're walking with the sun, we're rising with the sun on the most beautiful beach I've ever been on, and then we meditate. Afterwards, we'll have some little breakfast, and then we jump into program for about 4 hours. Then we have another lunch, and there's then some time for you to spend at the beach, to spend in the sun. We're then back in program for another 4 hours, like a delicious dinner served 6 to 7, and then back in program again from about 7 to 8:30 p.m. And as you can imagine, these are, quite intensive and long days, and they're magical. They're really amazing. So the food is absolutely spectacular here as well. So within summer, we're waking up just a tad later. We start at 8 a.m. And then in Nicaragua and at Sugar Ridge, so the spring program in the summer, all of the food and housing is all included, and it's usually buffet style. And both of the facilities that we've been to many times are able to accommodate to any dietary needs whatsoever. Let's jump into logistics. So for all three programs, we use Zoom. We use Zoom more for the winter program than we do the spring and the summer. But of course, we need to use Zoom in order to deliver some of the content. And with that, you do need access to Wi-Fi, a microphone to be able to chat, and then of course a yoga mat, block and towel. And then a part of the tuition, what we provide you with is a PYC teacher training manual, which is about 300 pages of um, just like all about teaching yoga, the history of yoga, all of the poses in there, so that during the program, as we break them down, you're able to write in the manual, okay, downward dog. These are some cues. This is some themes that we can use for downward dog. And then on top of that manual, we also provide you with 6 months of our online yoga platforms. So we have a Zoom platform and we have on demand. So you can do a Zoom live Zoom class with a few of our studios that offer them. And then we have on-demand classes that you can take at any time of the day. And so you get 6 months for free of those. And what's not on here is something brand new that we've just launched earlier this year. It's called the PYC Teachers Hub. And so the PYC Teachers Hub is this platform that supports yoga teachers with continued education. So the training ends and you're like, okay, great. I want to start teaching. I want to start really putting what I've learned into fruition. The Teachers Hub, there's monthly content that we drop to support you in continuing your education. So that's also something that's provided, and we give you a full year of that online educational platform. All right. Any questions so far? Any other questions?
Nick, I had a question on the summer program, the location, the Sugar Ridge.
Yep.
I believe I went there once for a weekend yoga. I think it's the same place, right? Where um, the accommodations are such that there's one big room, obviously, for the yoga practice,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's separate sleeping arrangements or like cabins of some sort, right? Is that? I just want to confirm if that's the same place that I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's the exact same place. Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
beautiful venue in Wybridge, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 90 minutes north of Toronto, and we've been going there for so many years. The food's amazing. It's nestled into the woods, so it's just a nice private venue, and we always rent out the entire facility so that it's really just for our training. And what's cool is they built another building, so we do our yoga in this beautiful yoga shala, and then
Uh-huh.
we do some of our learning in another spot where there's slides and more lecturing, a little bit more
Mm,
lecturing and conversation. So
okay. Thanks.
yeah.
I have one question. You said it's 6 months of online yoga, whether it's on demand or um, live.
Yeah.
Are there classes you can go in person or
So
can't do them in person?
you're more than welcome to go in person.
Yeah,
Whereabouts do you live, Francis?
I'm in Niagara on the Lake, so I'm
Oh,
not
amazing.
not that close to any studio, but my dad lives in Oakville, so um, if I'm around, are you allowed to go to the classes or no?
So the in-studio classes aren't included in the actual tuition itself.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're more than welcome to go in person. There would just be an additional cost.
Okay.
We actually just opened up a new studio in Pelham.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably like 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it's in the Dollarama Plaza and or sorry, Font Hill. It's in Font Hill.
Font. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Font.
Yeah, brand new studio. It's gorgeous
Okay.
and the community is already thriving. It's really beautiful to see. So, whenever you get a second,
Yeah.
and if send us an email or send me and Joe an email and we'll get you in for a class to try it out.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So this slide here helps create the visual of, okay, what needs to be done before training, what happens during the program, and then what happens after. So before we begin, and it's basically the same for all three styles of program. And so it's looking at the PYC flow sequence and starting to put it in memory. And so this sequence is in the brochure. And so if you go to our website, you'll be able to find the brochure for the program. It's right there for you. And so even just if you print it out and you have it in front of you and you start just, okay, starting to understand and starting to look, okay, this comes after this, starting to read it out loud. We ask you to do that. There is a book list. And then so we ask you to start with a couple books to begin. And then we have you order other required readings, and we'll go over those actually in the next slide. And then that's pre-training, and that's mainly for the winter. For the summer and the spring, I'll go back to just a slide that I had up earlier. Summer and spring, there are pre-recorded modules that I talked about. And so those, we ask you to complete those as well. Those are just it's about 15 hours of video content that you watch before the program begins. And that's the only difference between the intensive styles for spring and summer versus the winter. During the program, we've touched on a little bit of this: meditation, asana, which is the physical yoga practices, inquiry. During the program, we ask you to participate fully. You know, you're putting a lot of time and effort into this training. And so in order to get the most out of it, we want you to participate fully. So that's why we have that here. There's a few papers, a little bit of practical work, a couple presentations that we have you complete as well. And then there's a little bit of readings and prep work as we move along in the program. And so we always share that. We give you time to complete everything, and we're there every step of the way. After the training ends, we have some post work, right? You've gone through this beautiful, extensive program, and we want you to put what you've learned into actuality. So, teaching 6 yoga classes, and those are very informal. It could be to one family member, it could be to a friend, it could be to 20 of your cousins. You know, it's at the end of the day, we just want you to teach classes in order to get the words out and to teach a full 60-minute flow. This could be at your house, it could be at work, it could be at the park. There's also an open book anatomy test, and you can use the internet, you can use some of the one of the required reading books has some of the answers as well for that. There's a few papers and readings as well that we have you complete after the training is complete. And we provide you with, you know, how to do all of this. And what's important, some people get hung up, they're like, oh my gosh, like I have to do papers, I haven't done papers in since high school or university. And the intention behind them is they're more journal like, they're more these papers that you get to do so that you can put your knowledge down on paper, what you've learned, what you understand, put it down to really help it come through in your body and learning in a different way. Here is the pre-work and the book list. So 5 books. We have Kinndli is PYC's co-founder. Kinndli is the program director for 200 Hour, and she's with you every step of the way. Kinndli, and I'm surprised Joe and I haven't talked about her up until now, but Kinndli is there every single day. Both myself and Joe are so lucky that we get to support Kinndli, but she's been leading yoga teacher trainings even before PYC was open. The first doors were open in 2009. She's been doing this amazing work for so long, and so she's the main facilitator. And then we of course have other knowledgeable facilitators that share other type of knowledge in the program. But yeah, this is the book list, and you can find most of these books on Amazon, maybe even at the library. If you go to a PYC, you can even ask some of the teachers if they'll lend it to you. If you don't want to necessarily purchase them, that's always the case. It's like, okay, you know, is there anybody out there who I can borrow them from? And that's happened for sure. So touching on the curriculum, we talked earlier about PYC's 200 Hour being a Yoga Alliance registered program. And so Yoga Alliance says, okay, in order to be certified with us, you need to focus and you need to provide these number of hours in these specific areas, right? So 100 hours teaching you the techniques of yoga, 25 hours teaching you the methodology, what's behind teaching, how do you lead a class. There's 25 hours focused on that, 20 hours on anatomy and physiology, 30 hours on philosophy, ethics, lifestyle, 10 practicum hours, even though we do much more, 10 hours on transformational work, and about 5 hours on homework and exams. So with that being said, I've been talking a lot. Are there any questions? There's one more slide, and I'll go over that before we go into questions, actually. So let's look at the tuition details. The cost of the program varies, as you can imagine, based on the style of program. So coming up for winter, we're currently in the early bird price range. And so if you were to register before December 17th, you do save $400 off the full tuition. And spring, Nicaragua, you'll notice that this price is in US dollars. And that's simply because the resort that we're staying at, they only take US dollars. And so the $4,100 includes the program, the housing, and the meals. It just doesn't include the flights. Then for summer in Wybridge, Ontario, the cost right now is 4,400. And as you can see, this is the super early bird. This is the super early bird as well. But the full tuition for Nicaragua is 4,500, and the full tuition for summer is 5,200. So like at this point in time, you are saving a lot of money if you were to register before these dates where you do have time to really think about it if you want to do it as well, right? February for Nicaragua and then May for summer in Sugar Ridge. And down here, I did touch on this a little bit, but all of these programs include the 6 months of unlimited yoga online and 1 year full access to the PYC Teachers Hub to support with continuing education. All right. Is there anything I missed, Joe? Anything else you want to add?
No, feels pretty good. I just want to see if there's any other questions out there before we add anything else in.
I have a question on the teaching classes. You don't actually have teach in one of your classes at the studio, because I've been to studios where they have teachers, like people that are training, and they do classes guided with another instructor, and you do a class that way. You don't do that?
So what we do offer for graduates, and you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to have your certificate at that point. They're called Karma and/or community classes.
Okay.
And so after the program's complete, you could reach out to a studio and
Okay.
you're like, okay, I just graduated. I want to teach as much as I can. I want to get more practice in studio.
Yeah.
And some of our PYCs offer Karma classes. So that's newer grads.
Yeah.
And the class it's described as that to students, but it's open to the public. And a lot of times those classes, we get like 30, 40 people, depending on the studio, because we say to the students, it's a little bit less, and it's donation based. Put the money in and it goes towards a charity or something, a nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do have stuff like that. And then you're also able, like some studios, if you're close with them,
Yeah.
you could teach in the studio to friends and family. You could be like, hey, can I just borrow the studio to teach to friends and family when the studio's not in use?
Okay.
Yeah. And with that being said, Francis, if there's another studio that you're thinking of teaching at, I would even reach out to them and be like, hey, you know, I might be doing this teacher training. If I complete it, would I be able to teach at the studio?
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of our teachers come out and teach at gyms, at other yoga studios, community centers. They teach abroad. They teach for the cities, the towns, the municipalities. So there's so many opportunity to teach yoga. I always say, until everybody in this world is doing this amazing practice, there's opportunity for teachers. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, of course.
Nick, just a quick, that was a very good overview, by the way. Thank you. The 200 hours, is it the program you mentioned, which is pre, during, and post, does that all add up to 200 hours?
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
does. Okay.
exactly. Yeah. Depending on the style of program, there's about 160 contact hours. So actual live hours where you're working with the facilitator and then all of the other participants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
always wondered, 200 hours seems like a lot, so I wasn't sure if the program actually it added up to 200, but it looks like you said it does, so that's good.
Yeah, if you think about it, right? Like those 5 books that we have you read, that could add up to maybe like 10 to 15 hours. Teaching classes, that's included as well. The post work is also included in there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, Nick. Those 5 books that you mentioned that we read it like um ourselves, or we will talking about those books in the class. How
So I'll pull up the slide deck here again. So with these books, they are read by you outside of the program.
oh
So we always say, okay, begin with Art of Possibility, Voice of Knowledge, the Power Yoga Handbook. Start to read those, and especially now, like if you were to sign up for the one of those programs now, you would have so much time to read through those. The Art of Possibility and Voice of Knowledge are very short. They're not these long, extensive reads. They're a few hundred pages, but they're smaller books, and they're really like they don't talk about yoga, the actual physical practice. They talk about just beautiful concepts of life to help you get into an idea of possibility, living into the possibility versus living into just a negative. Sometimes us as humans, we have doubts, we are hard on ourselves. These 2 books, The Voice of Knowledge and Art of Possibility, help bring forth the best version of you. They really are just really great books to help with that. And then the Power Yoga Handbook is something that Kinley just created. And it is this extensive, amazing book that touches on the practice. It touches about PYC. It touches on, and I'll pull it up here as I'm talking about it. It's this beautiful book that helps you understand all of the poses. Every single pose that we teach you to teach is in there, and it talks about it. It does a breakdown, adaptations. And so this is also just a really great book to, if you're even just interested in yoga in itself. You don't necessarily, have to do teacher training. This is for anyone who wants to learn more about power yoga. And then touching back on the other books, The Heart of Yoga, Key Muscles of Yoga, those are really referential, and those can be used for the papers that are completed after the program is complete. And so obviously once you complete these 3, you would start to go into the 4th and the 5th. And those just help really cement your knowledge in different areas.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Lucy, I'll add on with the books that like the first 3 were really helpful as like a foundation before stepping into the program. I found that really helpful. But then also that Ray Long book, I still have it today. And like I bring it out quite often to reference and think about like poses and how I can support people stretching or strengthening their poses. So really good resources.
Absolutely.
So after these trainings finished, the PYC will how do they support us to like practice as a teaching there? Is there any what happens after that?
Really great question. So there's multiple ways that we can support, and it depends on the studio. And I'll say that from, we have 15 studios in Canada, in Ontario. And then we have Power Yoga Canada headquarters, right? Where myself, Johanna, Kinley, the other co-founder, Pauline, other full-time staff that are always here to support and always here to answer questions. There's also the PYC Teachers Hub that helps with continuing education. But let's say you want to, really get connected and stay connected to the PYC Oakville studio. At Oakville, we have weekly karma classes, weekly community classes. So once you're done the program, once you're done the post work and you receive your certification, you can jump into those classes and you can start teaching in those classes and continuing to hone your teaching skills.
Mhm.
But the Teachers Hub is great because there's content in there that is always supporting you with your teaching journey, and then at the studio level, it really is like the karma teaching in the karma classes, teaching in the community classes, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have a program called Energy Exchange. And so at all of our studios, you're able to exchange your energy in order for free yoga. And so that helps you stay connected in the community, that helps you learn the inner workings of a studio, and so you get connected with the community, you make new friends, and then you get free yoga as well for your time and effort at the studio. I'd love to just give you a quick peek as well at the Teachers Hub. This is a beautiful display of just how we can support you after the training's done. And so every month there is a welcome video that touches on the theme. Then we break down a pose of the month. We go into alignment focus. We provide you with information around teaching tools. And then there's also an audio teaching tip. And so this is like a 5 to 10 minute teaching tip that you can listen to. And then as you go and teach a yoga class, you can use some of the knowledge you learned from this audio and these videos. And so as you can see, there's every month there's 4 videos and an audio teaching tip. So this is really meant to help you stay in the learning and to help you continue to, yeah, it's like a little bit deeper learning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Basically, in the winter, the training, it is in person, like which what it's over the weekend, right? It's weekend, it's in person, right?
That's
And
right.
half day,
So for winter,
yeah,
it's the days of the program are Saturday and Sunday.
yeah.
And let me pull it up here once again. So these are the weekend dates. So it's Saturday, January 17th, Sunday, January 18th.
Mm.
And on Saturdays, we're in program from 9 to 8 p.m. And then Sundays, we're in program 8 to 4:30. And then Wednesdays, 6 to 9. And on the Saturdays and Sundays, for 3 hours, everybody is online from home. Everybody is at home learning and discussing over Zoom like we are right now. And then after that 3 hour session, everyone's given a 90-minute break. After that 90-minute break, you can stay home. And I'll say this, a lot of people who can come in studio come in studio. It is a really beautiful thing to be in studio, to be immersed in person, but the program is amazing online as well. We actually have lots of people who just are fully online because they live in different countries, different provinces, and they can't come in person all the time. So they'll come in person every once in a while. But that's the format of the winter.
Mm. And half day, I can come in like on site and Sunday as well.
We do ask you to be in attendance for the whole day.
The whole day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So Saturday, if it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's about 11 hours with a couple of breaks in there, of course. But it's an intensive program. It's a program that pushes you to your limits. You're practicing a lot of yoga. You're learning. You're connecting with other like-minded individuals. And as you can see, like Sunday, we end a little bit earlier. That way you can spend the evening getting ready for the week. Does that answer your question, Lucy?
Yeah. Yeah, I just thinking about how I'm gonna manage my time, like, so that's why I asked you some specific, like which time I need to showing on site and which one I can stay home. I just wanted to clarify those things so I
Yeah.
can management those time.
So let's say you have a busy weekend and you're jumping program and it's easier for you to just stay online for the whole day. You're more than welcome to stay online. Some people stay fully online, some people come in person, some people will come in person for all weekends except for one, where it's like, hey, but busy weekend, I need to stay home, I need to do some things around the house during the breaks. But during the program, we do ask you to be fully participating and committed because we want you to get the most of it, right? We want you to be immersed in this training where we're providing you with a lot of beautiful knowledge to help strengthen your yoga practice, to help you become the best yoga teacher possible, and to help you really seek the truth within, right?
Yeah, Nick, I'll just add on to that like where I get feedback with participants after the program is the most that they get out of it is when they're like present and available to be there because we have amazing facilitators that come in and will lead different portions of the training and there's so much that you learn from the other participants in the room. And I always say, for an example, we're going to learn Tadasana, which is mountain pose, and we're going to break down all the cues. And you're going to learn 26 different ways to do it because it's going to look and show up so different in each person's body. And you get such a big impact from being there available in person to experience that with each other. It's pretty cool.
Okay, thank you.
Or for the classes, like, do you typically get like the number of people attending? What's your average number of people in like the summer, the like each session? Do you have like 5 participants? Do you get like 10 or like on average, do you get a good number of people attending?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So that's a really great question. This upcoming winter program, I think it's going to be one of our biggest, which I'm really excited about. We're currently at like 25 registered.
Oh, wow. That's a large number, actually.
Yeah, and we're still quite far out from January.
Yeah.
Last winter, so or I guess this winter 2025, we had 37 people.
Okay.
Then when we go to Nicaragua and
Yeah.
Sugar Ridge, the approximate number it's between 20 to 30 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one follow-up question. So I'm thinking of doing like I think I just want to be totally immersed in it. So I'm thinking either the Nicaragua or the summer.
Yep.
I'm thinking the summer is a little cheaper because I don't have to pay for a flight. So payment wise, how does that go? Do you do a deposit first to hold your spot and then the whole entire amount like before? Or like how does that work?
Amazing question. Okay. So it's a little bit different for spring and
Yeah.
summer.
Okay.
So with Nicaragua,
Yeah.
there's the way I say it is there's 3 payments that have to be made.
Okay.
The first one is to PYC.
Yeah.
Then the second one is to Nicaragua or Amaru, Nicaragua, the resorts.
Okay.
And then the third is the flight.
Yeah.
So with PYC, I just recommend getting the $2,300 US in before the super early bird. So you could do a deposit to save your spots, 500,
Yeah.
1,000. Then as long as you pay the remaining balance for the PYC tuition before that super early bird,
Okay.
and let me pull it, like I'll just share the super early bird. Let me refresh my memory. Super early bird for that is February 15th,
Okay. And what's the early bird for the summer program?
May 15th.
Okay, so between like let's say now and May 15th, you put your deposit, and as long as you have your full payment before May 15th, you get the super early.
Super early bird. Exactly. And so what a lot of people do is they'll just do a payment plan. So it's like, okay, here's the full cost. Let's
Yeah.
break that down monthly from now until May 15th.
Okay.
And we can support with that. There's no interest or anything. It's just, if it helps instead of one big lump sum to just
Yeah.
do it into increments, absolutely. And I will touch on Nicaragua. So the first payment is the 2,300 to PYC,
Yep.
and then there's an 1,800 payment, $1,800 to Nicaragua, the Amaru Resort Center. That we can technically wait for that until like March.
Okay.
So that
And
can come after.
But those numbers are in US dollars, right? The 2,300 is US.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other one is Canadian dollars. The Sugar Ridge one is in Canadian dollars.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah, and I think like flights right now are not super expensive for Amaru.
How
And then
far is that away? Is like a 5-hour flight? I've never been that far, like South America it's in.
right? I'd never been there until till we went to this for this teacher training.
Yeah.
So what we typically do is we take a flight to Miami,
Okay.
so about 2 hours, and then another flight to Nicaragua from Miami for another 2 hours.
Okay. Okay.
And then we take a beautiful bus trip to the resort center from the airport.
Okay.
And that could be anywhere from 3 to 6 hours.
On a bus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's, at the end of the day, like some people sleep, some people, we grab snacks on the way, and you get to see the country as well during that. And yeah, it can be a little bit long, but it's not that bad.
It's a fun road trip.
It's a fun road trip. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Joe and I have done that trip multiple times now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. I think that's all I was thinking. Your program actually came recommended through my hygienist, Pauline. She does the classes at, I think, Sport Credit.
Pauline Wong is the best.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Is Pauline Wong?
Yeah. And then I know Pauline, the co-founder, I guess. My daughter skated synchro for her like back in 2008, 9. And then she used to do yoga classes for the skaters.
I love that.
So.
That's amazing. I'll ask if she remembers you.
Oh, I think she'll remember me. She knows my daughter, Isabella.
Yeah. And I have your last name, so I'll share your last name with her too.
Yeah, she probably knows the last name is Dalvalar because I use I still use my maiden name, but yeah. But she'll know my daughter Isabella for sure.
Okay, amazing. I love that.
So yeah.
That's so cool. I love the connections. Yeah, Pauline is the studio manager at PYC City Center.
Yeah.
And Pauline is amazing. Pauline Caballero, the PYC co-founder.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was actually my very first yoga class that I ever took. was at her studio. And then I went to Kula. It's no longer Kula anymore. I forget now.
Inyi?
Yes, Inyi.
Yeah. Inyi.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, except for you're not allowed to talk.
Oh, really?
You can't talk when you're waiting for the class. And
oh, really?
Which
there for many years, but then we moved, so I've switched around different studios. But I didn't know there was a studio in Font Hill. How old is that studio?
They just opened up early last year.
Okay, so will they have pharma classes?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And Meredith, the studio owner, is looking for new teachers, is looking for more teachers right now for sure.
Okay, that's good to know.
Seriously, whenever you want, just send me and Joe an email,
Yeah,
and we'll hook you up with the free class. Meredith is so great with that. I'll reach out. I'll say, Frances wants to come and check it out. She's been a part of PYC longer than myself. She's, yeah. So she would love that. She'd welcome you with open arms.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to add on, Nick. I know we're having some great conversation. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. It's 8:04. Nick and I are here for as long as you need to answer your questions, and you know that you can find us on email. I do also want to just kind of plug that, like, if this is something that you're still thinking about, like, what are the questions you have? And if you have space to go to a PYC, take the class.
Yes.
Whether that's like online or in the studio, because you're going to feel the experience of community. You're going to experience the way the teachers are showing up. And what Nick was explaining about what the outcomes will be from the teacher training, you'll see it in real life in the studio. And that might help you decide if, like, right now is the time to take it in one of these 3 programs that we're offering. And I've also experienced yoga teacher trainings other places too. I'm not just kind of homegrown from PYC. I've had some experiences at different studios and different teacher trainings. And I think one thing that really sets this one apart is what Kinndli offers. I also, like, I don't know how to explain it other than the word like magic and like this inquiry that she really brings you through. Yes, you're getting yoga trained, and you learn a lot about yourself and who you are when you are at your full potential. And that I would pay year over year just to go and experience that with Kinndli every time.
Okay. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because sometimes you only have that one type of experience, but it's good that you've
Yeah.
had different studio experiences and different teacher training. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, different studios will like, it's a different experience, so it really depends like what kind of vibe, what you want to learn, whether it's a little bit more history or a little bit more hatha. Like,
Yeah.
we're so strong with vinyasa flow
Yeah.
because of like what we walk away with and how we feel. And so we're just so proud of like being able to move and feel like that on our mat and off our mat. And that's why I tell everyone, go to a PYC, because then you just get it. You walk in, you experience the whole before, during, and after, and the amazing teacher. Then you're like, oh, that's what Nick was talking about. Those are
Yeah.
the outcomes that I'm going to walk away with. Like, that's possible for me too. Like, and I want to get there. Whether you teach, like, I have a lot of participants that come to these programs, and some of them want to do it to learn more about their own self-development. Some people want to learn the yoga practice, right? They don't want to teach. And then there are people that come out of the programs, and I'm a hell yes, I want to teach right away. What studio and where do I go and who do I need to talk to? So it's quite a variety of people coming in with their own goals. Some of the goals change while they're in the program, but it's just, like Nick says, just so exciting just to see that kind of come out in everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
stay on the line, but I just want to be so mindful of your time also. If there's any follow-up, email us. We're here for you. We're not going anywhere, so you know where and how to find us.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And Francis, if you want to, and Francis, Lucy, I know Christine actually comes to the Oakville studio. Lucy, which studio do you go to again? Remind me. Is it Oakville as well?
I go Mississauga.
Okay. If you ever want to come to Oakville for a class on me, just send us a message, okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
You
for
could take
sharing.
Nick's class.
Yeah, I teach there Mondays at 9:30 and then Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So if you want to come tomorrow, I'm there. Got a good playlist. It's gonna be hot and sweaty and it's candlelight, but it's still powerful. So
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
very informative.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Joe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Feel better, Christine.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye, everyone.